Creating from the Heart. I'm Suzy Vance, and we're going to explore the artistry of living today. We are going to have real good fun with Allison and Chuck of Fluid Coffeebar all over Northwest Indiana. So, how did the two of you do this? How did you ever come up and what's the concept? Because I know what the concept is, but I want to hear it.
Okay, so, we started out wanting to open a coffee shop back in the 90s. So this is our story. This is the beginning of our story, and I won't go too long into it, but
That's all right.
we grew up in Northwest Indiana, and we met at Maryville High School in art class, and we've been together basically since then. And we moved to Chicago, right outside of Northwest Indiana. We're like, we have to get out. We're going to Chicago.
Yeah.
And when we got there, the first Starbucks came to Chicago, the very first one. And it became really apparent that coffee was going to be a big deal. And so that's when Friends and Fraser came on the air, and we started touring independent coffee shops, and we fell in love with the whole idea of coffee shops and just conversation and energy and the great coffee. And so we had a dream to open up a coffee shop, but we were very, very young and inexperienced, and it didn't work out when we were in our 20s. So that's how the whole thing started.
Okay. And then what happened?
Well, flash forward a few years. Don't let the gray fool you. Maybe a few more than a few years.
Okay.
So we went our separate, not our separate ways, but we went our separate career ways.
Got it.
Did that for about 20 years, and when we got to the point to have the opportunity to work together, we always thought, we want to work together. We, like Allison said, we had school together, high school. I spent 95% of my time in the art loft at Maryville High School, and Allison was there along with me. I'm a little older than her, so.
And then what did you each do for careers?
So I went into the building materials industry. I had sold building materials, did remodeling, all that kind of thing, contractor type of stuff. And Allison.
I always say that he basically went into exterior design because he designed the exteriors of houses and commercial buildings and supplied all of those outside materials, and I dealt with interiors. So I sold vintage furniture, and so I sourced vintage furniture out here in Northwest Indiana and sold it in Chicago, and so went back and forth. And I love interiors, and he loves exteriors, but we come together on anything design. We love design, and that's all we talk about, basically. A lot of it.
Very true. And so when it came time for us when we had the ability to do something together, we're like, well, we need to do something together. We've done the building industries and the furniture and things like that. It's time for us to really we can do this. So we basically sold everything we had.
Yes, Allison told me that.
Yeah.
They don't look too kindly on coffee shops from the bank.
No, they don't. Our bank of 20 years or so wouldn't give us a loan. And so guess what? They're not our bank anymore. So, because we found somebody that would, through the help of the SBA here, Small Business Association, and their mentor SCORE was great for us, which meets at the Chamber of Commerce here. And we met with Larry and Georgie, Larry was a former retired banker, and Georgie was in the restaurant and hospitality field, and they really helped us form the plan. And if it weren't for Larry, calling in some favors, so to speak, they believed in us that much that he walked down to the bank and said, "You need to give these people a loan."
Isn't it amazing who you meet and how good they are to you?
Yeah,
it's great. It's great, but he saw that we were serious about it. We weren't just some 21-year-old kids like we were back in the 90s, with an idea of what to do. So he believed in us, and so we went for it. That was our.
Okay,
We never got out of coffee, really.
So what is it? It is, if you will, the cutting edge or the philosophy, or what separates you from everybody else who's selling coffee, including Starbucks?
So there's two things that separate us really, and that is our product and the people. And so the product itself, we belong to the Specialty Coffee Association, which is a finer coffee, is the types of coffee that we source, and they are ethically sourced coffees where we work directly with small farmers. So our coffee is grown at high elevations, sometimes like what we're used to here in Northwest Indiana in a yard. So some of these farms are only like an acre big, and that's the type of farmers that we work with. We work with very high scoring. Coffee is scored just like wine when you get really into it, and if you are buying specialty coffee. And so we buy very high scoring coffees. So the coffee itself is a higher quality coffee than what you're going to get through a drive-through anywhere. And so on top of that, besides our product being really different, and being different in Northwest Indiana, the people here are different because we are very pro-human and we are very pro-diversity. And so we're from Northwest Indiana, and we wanted to make a place that included everyone. And we wanted to make a place that included everyone in Northwest Indiana. And so that's what we set out to do. And we always were the type of kids when we were young that we were the artsy kids, the weirdo kids that really needed a cool place to hang out. And I think there's a lot of adults like that too. And so we wanted to make a place where everyone felt welcome. And we also tried to make a job for everyone to feel welcome. So the people that we hire and employ really have a sense of community where we talk to them all day long through group chats, through meetings, and we're very hands-on with our crew. And we consider ourselves to be pro-human in an age of everything going really, really digital.
Right.
We try to create really human experiences. That's one of the reasons why we don't have a drive-through, besides having a product that really takes a little bit to make. We want everyone to have those experiences with a human where they're talking. We make all of our simple syrups that are in our lattes by hand. All of our shots are pulled on a manual espresso machine. Everything is hand stirred. Right. So it's very pro-human, and we try to get to know our customers and really make this a meeting place. We're constantly introducing people. I just left our Crown Point store where I introduced two people that will totally be able to work together in the future, and that's the place that that's how we want Fluid to be, is a meeting place for everyone.
Well, one of the things that I love about, for example, this place is you have rooms where people can do different things. They can have a small meeting in a separate room, or they can do their own podcast.
Right? Yep.
How did you come to that?
Well, it's not completely an original idea because we've been to other coffee shops that would have meeting rooms. So that's kind of a common thing. It's a very unique thing to have a podcast room. We've never seen any place with a podcast room. But that was actually Allison's idea because of the pro-human thing again.
Yes.
We opened this location in the middle of the pandemic. And it was like, okay, well, I don't know if these meeting rooms and this podcast room are ever going to be able to be used in person, but we hope that it would be, and so it is. There's somebody sitting in the podcast room right now, and the room to the right of us here is usually got somebody in it. So people get a lot of use out of it, and it's different than our one downtown. So we wanted this location to carry the Fluid vibe through, and Fluid is our philosophy. It's not, it's a play on words. We have a lot of symbolism that are play on different things, but Allison actually came up with the name Fluid, but it's always been kind of our baseline motto is like, be fluid. Just
Go with the
go
flow.
with the flow, do what you got to do, ebb, flow, spin, turn, whatever you got to do. And it really, that motto really helped us in the last few years, I think. But, and it's fluid in that, people can flow in and out of here without any judgment or any sort of problems. I mean, we really try to make it welcoming for everyone, all ages, all races, all, orientations, whatever you want to say, everybody is welcome, and we just basically hire that kind of people that are looking for a place like that to work. We get a lot of other coffee shop employees.
That's true.
So what
statement.
took you to Crown Point in Michigan City?
Oh, okay. So, well,
Because you now have 4 stores,
we
right?
do. We live in Valpo, so we started here in Valpo, and we almost started in Michigan City. We love Michigan City so much, but we decided to start in Valpo because this is where we live. It's very close. We love the downtown.
Uh-huh.
But we believe in what's going on in Michigan City. Michigan City has just this beautiful downtown, beautiful old buildings, such a rich community, a diverse community, and then there's the beach. And so all together, we were going out to Michigan City a lot because we like to go to vintage stores. That's kind of my background. And we like to go to breweries a lot. And so that's a big knockout combo in Michigan City for us. We also love the neighborhood feel, and we've really kind of become part of the community. We'll be in Michigan City all day tomorrow. I'd like to do a shout out for Fly High Youth because that's one of our passions out of all 4 of our stores. Fly High Youth is a youth organization started by an ex-gang member who is actually paralyzed from the waist down and has spent time in prison. And when he got out of prison, he's a Michigan City native. He decided to work with Michigan City youth, and he has so much energy. And his name is Fly, and he started Fly High Youth to really give back to the community of Michigan City. And we kind of just vibe. We all vibe. His name is really Kenny, but the 3 of us he's a little bit younger than us, but we're all those Northwest Indiana people, and he just believes in Michigan City so much. So we're on his board, and we'll be with him tomorrow. Michigan City just has a lot of cool stuff going on. So the youth of Michigan City are really, I feel like there's going to be some good things happening out there. And then Crown Point, that's where we just left our Crown Point store to be here. We kind of fell backwards into taking over Uptown Cafe in Crown Point, who they're our neighbors here in Valpo and good friends of ours. And they started to, during the pandemic, get into more behind the scenes production. They also make soda pops, which we carry in all of 4 stores. And they were trying to get a little bit out of the cafe scene while we were growing in the cafe scene, so it seemed like a perfect fit. And so we also wanted a Lake County store because we're Lake County people. And so we have a store on Broadway, and that was a big deal to us because we grew up in Maryville. So that's how we expanded. And the reason why we expanded mainly was because our kids wanted to be part of Fluid, and we also saw that we had a good thing going, and we thought we could do more. So
Any more plans?
Oh, yes.
Any more possibilities?
Oh, yes. There's actually a few possibilities right now. So we're working with a couple different people on a couple different locations. So
Stay tuned.
yeah, stay tuned. I don't want to say much of
okay.
anything, but we will definitely put another one in somewhere in the region in the next year, and probably more than one. So
Good.
so we'll see. It's always fun to negotiate leases and things
Oh,
of that
yes.
nature.
Well, I can't thank you enough for sharing your story.
Yeah, thank
It's
you.
been wonderful.
Thanks
Appreciate
for
it.
having us, Suzy.
Okay. Creating from the heart, the artistry of living. See you again soon.